Hey there, welcome to Whiskey and Whit. I'm Whitney, and today's video is going to be a huge Dollar Tree collab, myself and 7 other amazing YouTube creators. We are doing it again because we are loving these so much. We have another installment of the Dollar Tree Mystery Box Challenge. Oh, here it is. What this looks like. Hey buddy, hope you find your dad. This is what I see off the bat. There's a cow. Oh, my Atlanta. Oh, she did not. Don't let one of these items I sent get away from you. Oh, good lord. You make, I feel like when people butter you up in the card and say, you're gonna do great. It's hard stuff. What the heck? I almost made it, you guys. What a crazy 5 years it has been, and it wouldn't be the Mystery Box Challenge if Courtney didn't end year 5 with a bang. So there are so many twists and turns this round, so many people participating. I got a box from Shannon over at the Cozy Christmas Cottage, and I sent a box to Lisa over at Lisa Birmingham. It's gonna be fun. Let's hop right into it. You're watching Whiskey and Whit. My name is Whitney, and if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad that the Mystery Box brought you to my corner of YouTube for this round of the Mystery Box Challenge. This started back in March of 2020 by Courtney over at Creative on the Cheap, and it has grown. You guys love it. She has worked so hard behind the scenes to keep it evolving, keep it fresh, and I'm just so thankful for her that she has had me along for the ride for all of these challenges. This round's guest host is Shannon over at the Cozy Christmas Cottage. You might recognize Shannon also from the Daily DIYer because she is Superwoman and has 2 YouTube channels. I can barely keep up with my one, so I don't know how she does too, but she's so amazing at it. And the Cozy Christmas Cottage is all Christmas all the time. You want to be sure to check out both of those, but definitely the Cozy Christmas Cottage because she is jam-packed right in busy season. She's got so much content for you. Items 1 through 6 could be from any store sender's choice, which I love. I can go find whatever I want. Items 7 and 8 were a light bulb and wrapping paper, and then item 9 was a challenge item that is an ornament. Number 10 is the box. So your other challenge item is you have to find a way to use the box. So she was really nice to me and sent me a white one. I didn't think about that when I sent my box off to Lisa. If you like my channel, you will love Lisa's. She does thrift flips, dupes, overall decor, and I just realized she is so close to hitting 100,000 subscribers. So if you like my content, be sure to check out Lisa's channel and help her get to 100K for Christmas. That is such a great gift for us creators. If you're new to the Mystery Box Challenge overall, basically it is like a Secret Santa on DIY steroids. I say that every time. And we have created rivalries over the past 5 years. There have been laughs. There's been internal probably crying or even outwardly crying because you got such a hard item. So it's been a whole thing. And it sent me a cute little gift. It just says, love you, friend. Merry Christmas. Love, Shannon. Oh, cute. Oh, this is so cute. She made me an ornament. It matches my craft room colors. Oh, that was so nice. Oh, so cute. I'll have to put this with my pinner's ornament. We also have to craft with a birthday candle because it's been 5 years in the Mystery Box. And she was so nice and sent me the candle. It has glitter, Shannon. This is the wrapping paper. Oh, cute how she unwrapped it. So the wrapping paper is like a tan buffalo check. And then with this red ribbon on there, it's feeling very like gingerbread. This is probably sender's choice, little foam balls. We've got a little Dollar Tree Christmas house. Glue job was a little rough there, so we'll have to take care of that. Oh, this is cute. What is this? Her stores get way cuter stuff than my Dollar Trees. Like, I've never even seen this. I love the wreath. That is cute. A portable light bulb. That is giving me Polar Express vibes. Here is, I'm thinking sender's choice. That's cute. A little snowflake. It's got like a little tea light on the inside. Little oven mitt. I've got some buffalo check bows. Shannon's probably like, we're going to take it a little easy on the pregnant lady. We don't want to send her into labor out of stress, which I thoroughly appreciate, especially after that box last time from Jay. Da-da-da! This is the ornament. Oh, okay. It's not terrible, but it's glitter. Oh, she knows my affinity for glitter. It's already on my hands, Shannon. Ugh. Thank you, Shannon, for your lovely gift, even though the glitter is like bleh. But I have dealt with way worse. The other thing that we do every December for the Mystery Box Challenge that I absolutely love is Courtney challenges us to do a random act of kindness. We've been doing it for years, and I love that it's now become part of my tradition in December. And I'll talk more about what I decided to do for my random act of kindness challenge later on in the video.
Before we hop into the DIYs, here's an overview of everything that Shannon sent me. Now remember, I've got to use the birthday candle as well as the box. She did a great job of sending me some great items that all work together for Christmas, but I also wanted to make some items that would last well past Christmas. So if the colors are traditional Christmas, like this oven mitt, I'm going to give you ideas on how you can switch it up so that you can use it for winter as well, because so many craft buddies have been asking for winter decor. So I had an extra oven mitt that went along with the one she sent me, and I also picked up 2 of these Dollar Tree ear warmer headbands. I started by removing the million what felt like tags on all the items, and then I folded up the wrists. I thought that these looked just like mittens, and I thought they could be Santa's mittens because they're red, but you could also swap these out for black, gray, blue, whatever color you can find at Dollar Tree or any other dollar store. I'm going to hook the headbands to the wrist with hot glue, both inside and outside, just so then that way nothing is going to move on me. I decided to leave the little twist in the back of the mittens so it was flat on the front, but you could easily leave the embellishment on the front. I went into my stash and found 2 of these Walmart picks that I got earlier in the season. These things are awesome. They were about $1. And when I put them in there, it was kind of falling flat. So before I did that, I decided to stuff them with some wrapping paper, packing paper, things that were going to get recycled from my craft room anyway. And that helped make the mittens look much more full. Then I could go back to stuffing. I added my Walmart picks, and then I also added these red frosted berries that I got this year at Joann. A quick Whit tip is to always fluff your picks when you're putting them in something like this because it makes them look so much better. It covers so much more room, and so many of them have wire inside so you can pose them and they're good to go. Then we're going to take some jute twine. We're going to take a dowel needle, which is just an upholstery needle. I get mine on Amazon. I will link them down below. And I'm going to pop it through the outside of each of the mittens. So I'm popping it through, tying a knot to create a hanger. Once I did that, I realized that the front mitten was not hanging the way I wanted it to, so I added one more piece of jute twine to tie it, so that one had 2 hooks. You can't really tell, but it makes it so that mitten doesn't hang kittywampus. Then my last step was to get them hung up on this open wall in my dining room. If you saw my home decor tour, that is all gingerbread, hot cocoa, etc., and these fit in perfect, and I'm definitely going to have to make some winter ones as well. For this next one, we are going to tackle a few different items, the first being the box. So I'm going to break it apart and cut it into strips so I have some smaller pieces that are easier to work with. I grabbed this thrifted candlestick for the top because it's about the size of a quarter, maybe a little bit bigger, but not the size of a $50, so kind of in between there. And I'm tracing circles on there, and then I'm going to cut them out. I did about 12 of them. Then I'm going to take those and glue them together with hot glue 2 together to make just a thicker piece. And then I'm going to grab those foam balls that Shannon sent in the box. I'm going to combine all of those with some fun fabric that I had in my stash that can be used for either Christmas or Valentine's Day. So what we're making here would be great for a Candyland theme, but I also plan on leaving these out well past Christmas because they will fit really well into my Valentine's Day decor as well. I cut a piece with my pinking shears just so the edges looked nicer, but you definitely don't need that if you cut a straight line with scissors. You don't need the pinking shears, but they are fun to have to add the little scalloped edge. I'm going to take some hot glue just to help it stay in place, but it really didn't help so much. I found that just by holding it with my hands instead of the hot glue helped. Now to hook the ends to make them look like little candies, I'm going to use some of the rubber bands that I used in my gingerbread video. I grabbed this pack from Dollar Tree and there's 700 of these little hair rubber bands in there, so I didn't even get close to using 700. So I ended up wanting to use some more on this project. And then we're also going to make some kind of peppermint sized ones with our circles we cut out of cardboard. I am going to glue these pieces down and then I'm going to do the same thing and hook the ends, so I've got 2 different sizes. I did the same thing with plain white, plain red, and then also a bigger white and red buffalo check. And then I thought this ornament would make a really good addition because these colors go really well with the candies. So I used my little jewelry pliers to get it apart, straighten the wire, and then I popped off all of the beads. I just threw them in a mason jar, but then I ended up transferring them to the mason jar lid, and it makes it a lot easier when you are going to string things up that they're just sitting there flat for you, but they're not going to roll away. I'm using my dowel needle again to string everything up. I ended up doing a quick little layout first just to make sure that I liked where the small and big buffalo check and the regular colors were sitting. I do love that the Christmas Valentine's Day transition holds really strong with these, and you can make them once, use them for multiple seasons. I used my dowel needle and kind of had it grip the back little gap of the fabric where I glued it. I tried not to go through the hot glue because that makes it a lot harder. And then I also added those beads in a pattern throughout as I went through and strung them all up. Now these would be great as table scatters, so you definitely don't need to string them up, but I'm going to add them to my table downstairs in my gingerbread dining room. If you'd like to see that, I did a full home decor tour for 2024. You can check that out up in the iCards or in the description down below. Hey Craft Buddy, I hope you're loving this video. I want to hop in real quick and remind you that we are doing voting again. This is one of the funnest things that have been added to the mystery box this year for year 5. You guys love to get involved, and this is a great way to do so. So watch all the videos on the playlist, head over to the forum, you can vote for your favorites, everything from the hardest challenge item to who did the best overall, and then Courtney does a fun award show to let you know who won what. I hope you'll take a few minutes to vote. Now let's get back into the projects. It is time for Operation Glitter Ornament. So my ornament fit really well in that candlestick holder that I used to cut those candies. So I thought, okay, what if I flip this over so that the ornament hook sits there so it won't roll away on me? Then I grabbed this pair of gloves when I was at Dollar Tree because I thought the green would be a really good winter color. You could leave it out now, it goes with my modern Christmas, but also it goes really well with my winter decor. Once I got it on the head where I wanted it, I put the fingers up and tied it with some jute twine. Kind of play around with it till you get the size hat that you want. And then I am using my scissors. You want to make sure they're decently sharp so you get a nice crisp line and create kind of like a beanie or gathered at the top. Then I created a double bow with some black velvet thin ribbon, and if you're interested in learning how to make these with your fingers or a fun Dollar Tree hack, I shared that earlier in the week in my hacks video, so I will have both of those tutorials linked down in the description as well as the top pinned comment. So if you want to learn how to make those really easily, I can show you over there. Then, of course, my friend needed a face. So I grabbed some Model Magic because I don't really have a lot of clay on hand, but this is how I make my faux marshmallows, and I thought this would be great because they would still be a little pliable to get them to stay on the ornament. So I made a nose, 2 little balls for the eyes, and then I also made a thin strip for his mouth. I let these dry overnight just to make sure that they were in a form that wasn't going to move on me, and then I painted the nose orange and the rest black. Then it was as easy as taking some hot glue and attaching the nose and the eyes, so cute. And then for the mouth, I held it up and I marked where I wanted it to go by essentially putting the cheeks in. I wanted this snow person to have some rosy cheeks, but I also didn't want to have to worry about getting any of the red paint on the black I just painted. So I gave myself some little marks here, and then I hot glued the mouth on. My final step was to give a scarf to the snowman because you don't want him to be freezing outside, especially in the winter. And so I tried to figure out what I wanted to do. So I cut just a little bit off of the other glove from the set, the stretchy part, and I thought that would make a really cute matching like neck part of the scarf. And then I cut off the pinky finger and kind of really just kind of chopped it up here, but it ended up working out okay. I cut up both sides so then that way it looked like the little strings that would hang off of the scarf or the ties. I glued the neck part so it wouldn't move on me. And then I also glued that finger from the glove that I cut apart around the candlestick so then that way that wouldn't move either. I tied it in the front like a scarf, and then I also glued my snowman head on top so he wasn't going to go falling off on me. Then my cute little snowman was good to go. Now, what about that snowflake? I decided to paint it white because I thought it would go really well in just like a vignette setup with my snowman that I made. So I painted it white and then I just cut out a really simple let it snow. You could also do a rub-on transfer or use a marker and just write it out. And I added it with some masking tape just because of how small it was, and also I was tired this day and I did not want to get up from my seat to walk around to get the transfer tape, if I'm being completely honest. So I flipped it around, put the masking tape little transfer on, and this is perfect. I love that it lights up so you can turn it on at night. The little tea light is a fun little extra piece, and I think they go really cute together. Now that we've done a few projects, here's a quick little progress report. I still need to use buffalo check ribbons, house ornament, the light bulb, wrapping paper, and of course, the birthday candle. I have been racking my brain the past few days on what in the world am I going to do with the birthday candle. And while I could take some DIY items and schlep them together and try to make a DIY, I got an idea that I've actually wanted to do with Finn for a while, and I thought this would be the best use of a birthday candle. We are going to head into Walmart right now. We're going to grab items to create birthday kits so that we can donate them to my local food pantry. I like to do a lot of these things, most all of it, underneath the radar, but because of this video and because of how simple these are to put together, I wanted to share them with the craft buddies in case any of you feel inspired to make any of these for the holidays or year-round, for families that have kids that are having a birthday celebration and they don't have the means to get cake and frosting and decorations and all the things. I want to give a huge thank you to anyone who has watched my content this year and supported Whiskey and Whit, because that allowed us to do 14 kits, one for everybody that's in this mystery box challenge. I got everybody involved. We packed these up and they come with cake mix, frosting, a can of Sprite in case they don't have eggs, oil, and water to mix up that. We also did some decor, of course, birthday candles, and some plates. It's all self-contained in a 9x13 pan. I tied it up with some ribbon and also added this free printable that will be over in my free file library explaining what's inside, and I changed them up so that they knew if it was chocolate cake or funfetti or vanilla. I also put together just a couple Christmas kits, which is water-based pancake mix, syrup, sprinkles, some Swiss Miss hot chocolate mix, and then I wrapped it all up in cellophane with some cute Christmas plates and put them in these Dollar Tree containers so they're easy to take home. This would also be a great gift idea, so if you're looking for something for like a neighbor, a coach, a bus driver, things like that, this would be perfect for it. I would love if you guys would go down in the comments and share how you like to spread kindness during the holidays and all year round. Hopefully we can share ideas with each other on how we can share some light and kindness in this holiday season and beyond into the new year. Up next, we're going to grab some more cardboard because we had more from the box from Shannon, even though it wasn't that big. And I'm going to trace this snowman shape. I have this as a free SVG as well as a printable template over on my blog. So whether you have a Cricut or not, you can get it and make this as well. Now when you're tracing, you want to make sure that the hat is parallel with the corrugation of your cardboard, and you'll see why in just a second. Once you have it cut out, draw a line at the top where the top of the hat will be, and then I used my Ryobi knife to cut just through the top layer. I saw a creator on TikTok, I will have the information here and down below, do this, and full transparency, her video, I don't know if I'm doing it right, but it made it look way easier to remove the top layer to get the perforation to kind of make it look like metal or just a texture. But I powered through. I originally was going to do all my snowmen like this, and then this drove me nuts, so I did 3 like this, 4 without, to do 7 total. I trimmed off the brim because I didn't need the template anymore, and I cut some more of those in cardboard. Then that way they would be 3D on the hat. I painted half of them blue, so the ones with the corrugation out, I painted those a light blue color, and then I painted the other ones in a purple because we are going to go for more of winter vibes here, but these would be really cute with like red and white hats as well. You could do whatever you're feeling. Then the bottom part is obviously going to be white because we are making little snow people because I've got snowmen and snow women. Once everything's dry, we're going to glue that brim on and then create some faces. I started on all of them with some pink cheeks. I decided to do more pink than red just so it wasn't so in your face. And then using the smallest detail brushes that I had, I added things like eyes, mouth, and nose. And I had a really fun time creating a bunch of different faces. I also used the end of a paintbrush to create some dots to really get that circle because it's way easier to do it this way than having to paint it yourself. Then the hats were looking a little blah to me, so I decided to dry brush them with white, and it was the best choice I could have made. So once I did that, they were looking way more like how I wanted them, and I popped 2 holes in the top with my hole punch. Then I was like, okay, I'm going to take that wrapping paper from Shannon, and I'm just going to cut some old school snowflakes, put them on the hat. It's going to be great. No, that was a fail. I cut like 5 of them, and they were terrible. I don't know if that was me. So then I was like, okay, could I cut this on my Cricut? So I used my rotary blade on the tissue paper setting, and I only was able to salvage 2 of these. So not my finest hour. So I decided to pivot and cut strips from what Shannon had sent me. into some squares to make some bows. And here's the easiest way that I have found to make origami bows. You're going to need a square piece of paper, and you are going to fold it all the different diagonal ways. So both long ways as well as diagonal. Then you're going to fold it long ways and create these curves on either side. So you want to make sure that you leave the center intact. So this is what you're going for. Then with those diagonals, you are going to use your scissors and cut to the center. Make sure that you don't cut all the way to the center, because if you cut all the way to the center, then they'll fall apart. Then where those big triangles are, one side is going to be the tail of your bow, so you're going to cut out a triangle in the center, and the other side is going to be the center of your bow, so you're going to cut 2 triangles out to make a strip. So it kind of looks like a wonky butterfly here. Then you're going to put a dab of either hot glue or other paper-based glue in the center, fold the 2 sides in. I just did the 2 like kitty corner ones. Then I did the other 2. And then I'm going to take the tails in the back and fold them down, because if I left them like that, you would see the back of the paper, and this is not double-sided wrapping paper. Then I'm going to take a little bit of hot glue in the center of my bow and wrap that center piece around, glue it in the back, and then I'm going to glue them right on to the hats. I did them on alternating sides for all of the ones that looked pretty girly. And then I also salvaged my 2 snowflakes from my Cricut fiasco and put those on the 2 that looked more like boys. Then I wanted to use the rest of the ornaments from Shannon in the box, so I didn't want red ones though, because we're going for a winter vibe. So I put some white paint with the beads in a Ziploc bag, swished them around, and then when they were covered, I dumped them in a cardboard box. Swish that around to get the excess off, let them dry. I did that 3 times, and then they were all white for hanging them up. When I'm stringing these up, I am putting the jute twine primarily behind the hat so you can see all of the details. And then I am just doing snowman, wood bead, and voila! I love how this turned out. It took a little bit longer than I thought, but hopefully I got rid of all the kinks in the system, so now you can just benefit from my Hot Mess Express and you can make it yourself. So cute. It would also be fun to have the kids draw the faces. Another progress report, we still need to use a light bulb, buffalo check ribbon, and a house ornament, and we're going to do that now. So if you remember the last mystery box challenge, I said I was starting a project with a glue gun and a prayer, and here we are doing it with a light bulb, some foam board, and a prayer. I started by taking this inspiration picture from Pinterest and roughing out a train shape, because like I mentioned at the beginning, that light, I couldn't get Polar Express out of my head. So once I had it roughed out, I just sketched it. I'm taking my Ryobi hobby knife. I love this thing. And you can get it at Home Depot. I will link it for you. And I cut it out, and then I also traced the large part of the light from Dollar Tree and cut that out so it would fit in the center. I wanted it to be tight enough so then that way I could just pull it out and turn the light on or off. Once I was set on my shape, I used some ink black chalk paint, painted the entire thing, and then it did curl on me. Sometimes foam board, when you paint it, it will curl. So when it was dry to the touch, I added some weight at the top and the bottom, and that helped flatten it out. Then I went through with white and gold paint markers to add the similar effects. This one was hand painted, so it wasn't going to look exactly the same, but it helped me rough it out, because I say it all the time, having guide pictures makes drawing things like these way easier for me, because I can recreate stuff, but like coming up with the ideas on my own, it's hard. Once the train had left the station, it was time to work on a few other things. So I grabbed the house ornament and thought, okay, this would be great to nod to the house that they stop at before they head to the North Pole, which is on Ed Brook Lane. It's Billy's house. And so I took the front part off, that little greenery and like the hot glue, like this ornament, when I tell you, it is not one of Dollar Tree's finest things they've ever sold, I will tell you that. But the hot glue held extremely well on the bottom, just not the roof. Anyway, I got it all cut up. I printed out this whole suite of free printables that will be over in my free file library, and I cut it so it would fit in the eaves of the house. And I also liked the blue and the red because that gave nods to the overall vibe of what I was making here. Then I used some more cardboard. I still had some left from that box. That thing was the gift that kept on giving. And I mounted a ton of different printables, like this 5x7 poster I made. I did a ticket. I did a cutout of the conductor. You just glue it down, cut it out. Then I grabbed some Dollar Tree bells because you can't have the Polar Express without bells. And I used the ribbon from Shannon because I thought it was so pretty. I didn't want to get rid of it. And then I needed some hot cocoa because I just kept thinking of like, what do I think of when I think of Polar Express? So to make some little cocoa mugs, I'm taking some toilet paper rolls. You can also use a paper towel roll. I'm going to cut it down to about a 2-inch strip, glue it down onto some felt, and I want to make sure that there's about a finger length on either side so that I can wrap it around to start to create my mug. I've made these before, so if you are a craft buddy, you have seen these, but I have updated my process just a tad because I found a better way to make the handle. I'm going to trim off this piece, making sure that the ends overlap, glue it all down, and then we're going to cut slits all the way around and glue those slits down, top and bottom. That's going to make it so it wraps around quite nicely and you're not going to see any of that toilet paper roll, but it's going to make it hold rigid. Then we're also going to take some scrap from the toilet paper roll. I cut it too long at first, and so I'm taking one of these pieces, putting it inside another piece of felt, and wrapping it and gluing it to create the handle. We're going to take that center chunk of our mug, put some glue all the way around the part that we want to be the bottom, and stick that directly down onto the felt. That is the easiest way I've found to make the bottom of the mug. And then we're also going to repeat the same thing with the top, but I'm going to do that on some brown felt to create hot cocoa. I'm going to finish it off with this snowflake embellishment, which is from the craft section at Dollar Tree, with the red and green, because I made 3 different variations of this, and these guys are going to be ready for my wreath. That is what we are making. So first up is my foam train. I added some masking tape to the back to get it to hang up, and then for the signs I added some jute twine with some hot glue to all the different elements, so then that way I can still use this wreath in the winter time. I could take these off, store them in a bag, and then reattach them next year. Really, this is time-lapse, but it took me only about under 10 minutes to get everything to hook. We're adding the bells in here, and then also the last item I needed to use was the little ribbons from Shannon. So I attached those to add some color and texture, and then it was ready to go. I'm so happy with how this wreath turned out. Finn was so excited about it. I also love that I was able to customize it with some of his favorite quotes. And if you've got a Polar Express fan in your house, I have got all of these little printables around the outside. Even the big Polar Express you could just print out and frame if you want to do that as well. Thank you, Shannon, for sending that light bulb, because I probably would have never thought to do this in the first place, but it was definitely the nudge that I needed.
That's a wrap on year 5 of the Mystery Box Challenge. Be sure to head down to the comments and let me know which project was your favorite. Let me know how you think I did and what you would do with those items. Up next for you is Lisa's video over at Lisa Birmingham. You are going to love it. I haven't even seen her projects, but I know she's going to do a great job. So check that out. The full playlist is down below. Also, be sure to vote for your favorites. That's going to be open per the details down in the description. And as always, spread a little kindness this holiday season. We would love if you guys would join us in doing some random acts of kindness. Thanks again for watching. Hit subscribe if you're new so you don't miss a future Whiskey and Whit video. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!